Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Okay, I think this gives you the best view of it. I've played with the camera for quite a while. Also, I don't pretend to be an expert on this game, but I think this diagonal view will give the best view of everything. Hopefully you can see that. So what we've got to start out here is campaign number 1. We have the Slimer situation, and what you're going to get here on the sheet is you're going to get an explanation of what's going on. Sightings are reported over the city. Your old friend Slimer is back and up to no good. He's proving hard to track down, but clearing some sections of the city of spectral disturbances will help you corner him eventually. So this is going to be Act 1 of a 4-act campaign. To win, the gates in the area are causing your traps to malfunction. You better manage their phantom felons before they escape. Make sure your traps are in good working order now before you move on. The gates in the scenario are nicknamed release gates, as they're able to rescue trapped goods. So to release a gate, I'm going to have to hit on a 4 or higher to add a stream, and I can close any of the gates with 2 streams. When I miss a ghost, you can't see it, but up here in the spirit world, I have all the ghosts prepared. 6 scenario results in success if I close every gate. Fail, ghosts must emerge from the spirit world, and there are none there. When rolling the die in the gates, you're going to have a gate here, 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 and we have 2 closed gates there. A ghost from the spirit world emerges, and if it's closed, each Ghostbuster carrying 1 or more trapped ghosts lose 1 of them. The lowest class, it emerges from that Ghostbuster space. So if we're rolling for the event, and each of these will have a shape on them, has a circle. This one has a star. So if it's closed, that will occur. Now on the back of the scenario that I just read, we'll have the placement of everything, of where it should be at. And I placed these out randomly. Well, I mean, they're on the board, but which icons were random. And so I'll also show you where all the ghosts will go. These are the ones on the board, and then these are the ones in the spirit world. So it's all been set up before I pressed record. The bad guys I selected for class 1 was the Fearsome Flush and the Galloping Ghost. So you'll see some toilets and some galloping ghosts on the board. For class 2, I chose the Gruesome Twosome and Spawn of Cthulhu. The Gruesome Twosome, I had a lot of them break, so I don't have a whole bunch of those. I used what I had. And for class 3, I brought out the Boogaloo Manifestation and the Grey Lady. I don't pretend to know what all these people do, but I'm going to hopefully put all of this up, and then you'll be able to fast forward or watch whatever you choose to watch. Okay, so the way the game is going to start, and this will go a little slow at the beginning, is all 4 of the Ghostbusters will start out in Act 1 right here. I'm trying to get to this gate, and this gate. We got a fence here that I can't go through. We got some bubbling ooze here. So we'll kind of just play our way through this, and we will figure it out as we go along. Now, I've played this a few times. I don't pretend to be an expert. I've got Venkman, Spengler, Stance, and Zedmore. So I started out with the 4 Ghostbusters from the original movie here. And I'm sure there'll be rules I mess up. I'm sure those rules I'll forget because I'm recording and I kind of don't want to take the time to look at everything. But we'll do the best that we can. So we'll start out with Peter Venkman first, and we'll move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we will start there, and that would be his first action. And his second action will be to get out of the car. So then we'll move on to Spengler, whose first action will be to get out of the car diagonally. And then I believe, because he is within line of sight, that I will try to look here. 1, 2, there's nothing blocking it. The diagonal whites we can look through. They're not going to be a problem for us. So we will go ahead, because we're 3 spaces away, we will go ahead and roll the dice and try to close that stream. Okay? So we're going to do a proton with Spengler. So Spengler is going to go ahead and roll the dice. I had rolled a 6, which will put a proton stream on the gate. It will require 2 to close it, and as long as he's within line of sight, that stream will stay there. So just imagine him shooting at it in a continuous space. Okay. So then what we'll do is we will move on. That's just 2 actions. One was to get out. No, enter an action is a maneuver. So that's 1 space for him. So we will roll again, which I got a 4, which will put the second stream on it. And as we know, it requires 2 streams to close it. So these 2 streams will come off. We will flip this to a close. And he will get an XP. And the way this works, just like if you played Zombicide, as he levels up, you will gain more powers. Right now, when you roll 1 on a protein roll, you gain 1 XP for him. So he will be good there. So that's going to be Spengler's 2 actions. Now we're going to move to Ray. He is going to exit as a maneuver. And I will then do combat with Fearsome Flush. So I will bring his card up, and I will be shooting at this one. To hit, I need 3 or higher to add a stream. To trap him only requires 1 stream. When hit, you see when traps. Fearsome Flush slimes 2 spaces away in 4 directions. We'll deal with all this when it comes up. So he's going to roll his first action. It's a 5. So he will slime him, or stream him. And it only requires 1 to stream. So he will trap this guy. And I'm going to put this on stance just to show that he's in this trap. And hopefully you can see that's just my way of doing that. And then when he's trapped, he's going to slime 2 spaces away in 4 directions. So then what I will do is I will roll the 8-sided die. Compare it to this. And the 7 is here. So you kind of line it up. He was here. So that's an odd movement. So if I looked at his chart, it will show exactly where he'll slime. So he'll slime as if he was here. So he will throw 4 slimes. And he would slime. I'm just going to put this out here to show you. Here, here. And because he was here, here, and here. Nobody is there in those 4 places. So these will come off. So we still have Zedmore in there, so he will be slimed. And when you get slimed, you're going to put that on his character sheet, which you may not be in frame. So you're going to have a slime on him, and that means he can perform -1 action. So instead of performing 2 actions, Zedmore only perform 1. But we still got Ray here, who I could do with him. I have a choice of actions I can normally do. I could do move 1 or 2 spaces. I could get back into the ecto and move. I could deposit the trapped ghost. If he has him trapped, he wants to spin him back to spirit world, you have to go inside the ecto 1 and send him back. I can remove slime from adjacent Ghostbuster. I can't remove it from Zedmore because he's inside ecto 1, or I can perform combat. So this guy's 1-2 away, so I'm going to go ahead and go out to the spawn with Cthulhu. So I'm going to grab his thing, and it tells me to hit, I add 3 or higher. So I will roll, and I rolled a 5. And that will allow me to do 1 slime on him. To trap him requires 3 streams. When hit, he moves 1 space towards that Ghostbuster. So he's going to move 1 space. So that's all he does for right now. And then we will move on to Zedmore, who has -1 action. So what I'm going to do with him, I think, is I am going to have him exit and attack this guy once. So let's see what Zedmore. Oh, he only has. Oh, he can do that. So he only has 1 action. So I rolled a 1, which is a miss. Okay, I did forget to give Ray, when he trapped this guy, I forgot to give him an XP. And when you spin an action or move slime, okay, so for Zedmore, he misses him. And if you look at the Fearsome Flush card, when missed, he moves in a random direction until an obstacle or map edge stops him. So get a random one, you would go on this chart, 1. So he's going to move this way. An obstacle or a map edge. So he'll just go diagonal, diagonal, and he will slime Ecto 1, which nobody's in. He will also slime Spengler. So Spengler is going to be slimed, and then he will just go next door to him. So that's all the Ghostbusters. They've done their turn. And then we would move on to the ghost actions. So the Ghostbusters all go. We'll look at the ghost cards. So Fearsome Flush doesn't do anything at the end of the round. Galloping Ghost. When 2 Galloping Ghosts occupy the same space, remove both from a scenario and 1 ghost from outside the scenario, so that doesn't apply. Spawn of Cthulhu. At the end of each Ghostbuster's turn, all spawns of Cthulhu move 1 space towards the newest Ghostbuster. And keep in mind, he started out here, so keep in mind that they can move through anything, walls, because they're ghosts. So he's going to go through him. And when you go through somebody, you keep going until you stop. So that's going to be a slime on Ray. And you remove the oldest strain from Cthulhu. So you kind of need to get him in the same round if possible. Okay. So that's going to be all of that. And then we're going to roll the chaos dice. I didn't really roll that. Okay, so little small error. When this guy came over here, he should have fell off and he's out of the game because the Fearsome Flush doesn't have any rules about falling off the map. So by default, when he was coming over here diagonal, I put him here. He should have came off the map, which is correct. Ray was slimed, which is correct. And now we roll the die. We got the cross-looking one. The cross-looking one is off the board. So when you roll it, each Ghostbuster carrying 1 or more trapped ghosts loses 1 of them. It emerges from that Ghostbuster space. So when it emerges from the space, we roll a die. We got a 6. Ray had him, so we look at this, and we find the 6 is right beneath him. So he will come back out right here. And that's kind of the benefit of you going to Ecto 1 and trapping and sending it back to the spirit world. Okay, so this is where we sit now. So the ghosts have gone. We're going back with our Ghostbusters. So I think the smart thing to do would be I might go ahead and shoot him. With, well, let's see. Venkman's going to go first. So Venkman's right here by this guy. I think I'm going to spend... let's see. So when he gets slimed, he got 1 XP. So there's a lot of little rules that are unique that you kind of have to follow here. And sometimes you can forget those. You can see I'm doing that already. It's hard to remember every character. And normally when you're playing this, it would be 1 person per character. But I'm just trying to show you how it plays. I enjoy the game solo. There's just a lot of things to keep track of. But I don't mind when I'm playing going back and fixing things. If I skip something, it's not the end of the world to me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put Venkman back in Ecto 1. Spengler. Spengler has a slime. I can take it off, which will take all of my actions since I'm taking it off myself. But I can still do a maneuver, and I'll put him in Ecto 1. Now, with Ray, when you spend action move slime from another Ghostbuster, I'm going to gain an XP. So it's always better if you try to take it off somebody within line of sight. So Ray's going to take it off for Zedmore, off his, which gives him an XP. And really using Ray as, I don't know if you guys can see these or not, but using Ray as a healer is a great way to get his XP up very quickly. So he is then going to get inside Ecto 1. And then Zedmore, who has 2 actions now, will get in as his maneuver. And he will move him 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's try it. See, he was here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it gets us pretty close there. Let me recount this just to make sure we did it right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You never go diagonal, and that's one action. Getting in was a maneuver. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think he can move down there. And if I did that incorrectly, so be it. But that's my understanding. He can't go through Ghost. He can't go through the lines, the orange and yellow lines. But I can not move diagonal, but I can go left and right, starting from the front or the back of this. Okay. So I'm going to leave them where they're at, and that's going to conclude their movement. So then we've already went through the ghosts, so we know which ones can move. The Cthulhus are always going to move one space towards the Ghostbusters, and they can move diagonal and through anything. And then we will roll the dice, which is a square, which is not on the board. We have a circle and a star. Each Ghostbuster carrying something would lose it. We don't have any that are trapped, so it will become the Ghostbusters' turn. And we start with Peter Venkman, who will come out as his maneuver. I will then move 1, 2 actions, and he will shoot at the gate. Now I will need a 4. I rolled a 2. So when you missed, a ghost emerges from the spirit world from that gate. So we missed with Venkman, so a ghost will emerge. It will always be the smallest ghost there. That's a 1. So when it emerges, we will roll the 8-sided dice, which is a 3. We will then go to our chart, find out if this is the gate. It will enter there. And the board becomes a little more dangerous, and if the spirit world empties and we need to bring somebody on the board, then we lose. Okay, so Venkman shot that 1 time with 1 action, so I would do it again for a second action, which is a 3, which is also a hit, or a miss. So we will bring out another one. Let's bring out another level 1, which will be a 7, which on this chart, which maybe I'll just leave there, since it's probably not going to be up there anymore and you can see it. We're starting to surround Venkman a little bit here. So that will be his 2 actions. He shot at it twice. Then we're going to move to Spengler, who will come out. And he will also try to shoot that gate. He rolled a 4, which is a hit. So we will put a stream on it. So Spengler's performed an action or a maneuver to get out, an action for streaming it, and he's going to try to take it out again, which he does with a number 4, which would put a second stream on it, which we know from our scenario will now close it. So this will go away, and he will get 2 XP, 1 for each stream, and he's still in level 1. So we got Ray and Zedmore in here. So I could, because you can start with the back of it, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because all I need to do is close this gate and the scenario is over and all the spirits will go away. So that was Stance's 1 action. He has a slime on him, so he has 1 action, so he will not get to move again. But Zedmore is on there, so he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and he'll end like this. He can maneuver. Now, I like ending it like this because I think he can come out the side here and maneuver it, and he will have 1 action left. 1 action for Zedmore to move, a maneuver to come out, and then he can do a 1 proton, which he rolled a 6, which will allow him to do 1 stream. Now he's out of action, so he can't do that. So we know that The Cthulhus are going to move one closer. Not really a threat at this time. We will roll for the chaos at the end, which is a star, which is this. So we rolled the one that we have. We know the spirit will emerge, so we roll the 8-sided die. Corresponding to this, we'll put another toilet out. He'll be right ahead of it. Okay, so we added the other one out. We will go back to Venkman, who's over here. And I think what I might do with him is just... here's Venkman. I think I might have Venkman just run. So he can move 2 spaces, and he can move 2 again. Okay. And with Spengler, I am... Well... No. Because if you're going through a campaign, you're going to need to level these guys up, or they're going to be able to take on the next levels. It's not just a race, even though that's kind of what I'm doing here. So I better level up a little bit. I don't plan on going through the whole campaign, although I may with this video. So I better level that guy up. So let me go ahead and try to fight this guy. So Venkman is going to roll. And that is a galloping ghoul, so I need a 3. He got a 5. So I have trapped him, which gives me an XP. So that was one action. And he could shoot this guy, but he would need 2 streams. This guy's within line of sight. So I think I might go over the fleshy guy and try to get him, which a 3 is a hit, which will give him his 3rd XP. Good job, Venkman. Oh, well, with the first guy, the galloping ghost that he got, I didn't do. So when trapped, each ghostbuster adjacent to him gets slimed. So he should have got slimed. When he gets slimed, he gets an XP. So he would not have had an action to do that. Good if I looked at the card. So we're going to go on to Spengler, who... is going to try to get this flushing toilet. He's able to do that successfully. But for him, you have to roll this die. And he rolled a 1, which is odd. So everybody at the 4 corners will get slimed. Nobody is there. If it had been even, then Spengler would have been. So he will go there, and he will get his 4th XP. And he will set his sights on this guy. For his second action, it's a 2. It's a miss. When you miss with the Galloping Ghost, he moves 2 spaces in a random direction, which we know from there is 8. So 1, 2. Okay. And then we'll go back to Ray, who is inside Ecto 1. So he will come out, and he will attempt to take this guy out. So let's see if he can roll. Nope. He only rolled a 1, so not going to be high enough. Then he will move 2 steps in a random direction, which will be 1, 2. Which I think we'll put in there. I don't think he can stop on a gate. So we're back to Zedman, who's going to try to shut this scenario down. Which he rolls a 6. And he will put his second stream out, which we know from our scenario is enough to close it down. That will give him... He had 2 streams on, so that will give him 2. And we know that when each of the gates is closed, we have successfully stopped the Slimer situation. And then all of these guys would come off the board thematically and be sent down to the spirit world. And we would win. I don't think that I played everything 100% correctly. I can already tell a mistake that I made with the Gray Lady. That line of sight, the protein rolls are reduced by 1, but he rolled a 6, so he still would have hit. Otherwise, I probably didn't spend enough time leveling my guys up. You kind of need to be in level 2 when you go to number 2, but this is the scenario.